Yo, what's up my kings and queens? Welcome back to another video. How you guys doing today? Today I'm going to be taking you guys through what I tell myself before starting my first business. Now this video is very important. If you know anyone who's planning to start, whether it's a business idea, whether it's content creation, they have that idea that they're willing to start, send them this video. They will relate to them. So the first thing that I have for you guys today, right? The first thing and the biggest thing I have for you is you need to stick to one niche, right? Because when you're starting your business, you can't pick something and jump around, right? It's never gonna work out. If you do one thing for a year, then another thing for a year, then the third thing for it's never going to work out. A business is not measured on weeks or months. A business is measured on years. Years on years on years. So if you tried a business idea for only a couple of months or 1 year, it's not enough, bro. You can't be expecting to make it as far as you want to get, right? So that's my first piece of advice. You need to pick something and stick to that one niche for as long as possible, for 2 to 3 years. That's what I'd recommend, right? Don't jump around. Stick to one idea or one business model for at least more than 2 years and then see what you can get from there, right? Now, the next thing is the journey you're going to go through. The journey you're going to go through when you're starting your first business. You will learn a lot about yourself, right? You need to go and work as hard as possible. Do you know what that means? That means you have to make so many more sacrifices, right? You're gonna find yourself when you're grinding on this business, you're gonna be pushing harder than you've ever pushed before, right? That's the kind of commitment you need when you're starting your business or going into your business idea, right? This is where you find the real you, right? By the way, guys, if you guys haven't already, please make sure to smash that like button and to subscribe. The next thing I have for you, right, is that, so I said that you're going to work as hard as possible, which means you're going to have to make sacrifices, right? You're going to find yourself pushing yourself harder than ever before, because if you don't, results are minimum. You're barely going to be getting results, right? Especially not the results you want to see, right? So you're going to be pushing harder than you've ever pushed before, literally, right? This is where you find the real you, right? There's a quote David Goggins said that I heard when I was listening to it at gym. I can't remember, but I like it. It was something along the lines of, when the distance is unknown, when the battle is unknown, that's when you find out who the fuck you are. Because if you're running a marathon and you know how long is left, okay, you can tell yourself, keep going, we got this much left. But if you're fighting a battle and you need to keep running and you don't know how far you have left to run, that's where the real you comes out, right? Because when the distance is unknown, when there is no certainty, you understand, that's when the real you comes out. Right? Now, the next thing I have to say is that when you're going to start your business idea, your content, whatever side hustle it is you have on your mind, there is always going to be people who are going to judge you, right? No matter what it is, whether, especially for content creators and actors and stuff, whether you're a big content creator or whether there's a small content creator, there is always people judging both of them. Look at me sitting here as a small content creator, right? I've got about 560 followers on Instagram. I've got about 400 now on TikTok. And now I've got 200 on YouTube, right? I am a small creator, but there are still people who judge me, right? There are still people in my comments who hate, right? By the way, I love the hate. Keep it up, guys. Put it there. It shows me that I'm working harder. There's still people that hate on me, right? And there's still people that show me love at the same time, right? Now, the same thing happens to big influencers. Look at people with 3 million followers, right? They've got a whole bunch of love and support in their comments, and they've got a whole bunch of hate in the comments. Why? Because whether you're a small or a big creator, people judge no matter what it is, right? So you need to be able to tell yourself, fuck the noise, I'm gonna stay focused. You need to have genuine belief that you can succeed. If you haven't already and you want to get more on this, I created a YouTube video titled How to Stay Focused When No One Believes in You. I'll put the handle here, I think. Go and check it out. because that video there is definitely going to help you in terms of mindsets, because it literally addresses what you can do to keep yourself focused when there's no one in the world that fucking believes in you, right? And the thing is, if there's no one in the world that fucking believes in you, who do you have if not yourself? So if you don't believe in you, how are you going to get through it? Right? That's why it's titled How to Stay Focused When No One Believes in You. Because if no one believes in you, what's going to happen is you're going to slowly start not believing in you too, and then you're just going to end up failing, right? That's why I created that video. So check it out if you'd like. Yeah. So as I was saying, people are gonna judge, right? You need to be able to tell yourself, fuck the noise. I don't give a fuck what they say. I know me. God gave me my vision. I know the dreams I'm trying to achieve. I know where I'm trying to get. Fuck what everyone else says. Don't pay attention to the noise, right? You need to have genuine belief that you're going to succeed and achieve that vision that God gave you. Genuine belief. So you believe it so much, people would call you delusional. The next thing is, right, and this is very important, is that most people stop right before they get what they've always wanted. And I'm sure you've heard this. I'm sure you've seen the picture of on top, you'll see a guy digging, and he starts walking back sad because he didn't get his diamonds, but he was like a millimeter away and he would have found treasure, a bunch of it, right? But then there's the guy who just kept going a little bit more and he found everything that he was looking for, right? That same thing is applicable in business. The same thing is applicable in content creation. The same thing is applicable with your side hustles. No matter what it is, don't stop, because most people just end up stopping right before they get what they want. Literally like that guy who was like 1 centimeter of dirt away of digging to finding all the diamonds he was looking for, right? Excuse me. Don't stop. Do not stop. Work. If you quit, the only guarantee that comes from it is that you'll never make it. But if you continue to show up day after day, week after week, you at least have a chance of success. But when you quit, you are guaranteed to never make it. The next thing that I want to address is that it's going to be hard to stay consistent. Let's talk about this in terms of a business aspect now, and not content creation. Content creation, it's also a bit hard to stay consistent, but you should figure that out. It's not that difficult. So with the business now, right, that's a whole different story when it comes to consistency compared to content creation, right? It is going to be hard to stay consistent, especially if you're alone, right? You don't want to wake up and go outreach every day, right? Especially considering replies are going to be low, etc. It's demotivating, right? You don't want to go outreach every day. You don't want to go sit down and work every day. You don't want to go get your own leads so that you can go DM or email these people. You don't want to go do your cold calls, whatever it is, right? So the best advice I have before starting your first business is you really should actually try and get a business partner. Because business partners are good for accountability, right? And when you have a business partner, you can share the workload, right? And there's another thing. 2 minds are always better than 1, right? So you guys will literally move 2 times faster than people working alone. You guys will literally have 2 times the ideas because you've got 2 minds on the problem and the business now, right? You guys can outreach 2 times faster than everyone else because there's 2 of you now, right? You're moving at a whole different rate. You're sharing the workload, making both of your lives easier also. But you're also there to keep each other accountable. Like if I told my business partner that I didn't do outreach today and he did, he's gonna be pissed off. He'll be like, what the fuck you mean you didn't do outreach? Bro, go do your fucking outreach. You're holding me, I'm holding him back. It's selfish of me to not do outreach because now he's my business partner. This is our business. I am holding him back because I'm lazy, right? Same things applicable to him. If I do my outreach and he doesn't do it, I'm gonna be like, bro, what the fuck? You're being selfish right now, right? I mean, look, don't get me wrong. There are certain occasions, like if he had to miss it for a reason, I'd understand, right? But if he was just lazy, I'm gonna say, bro, what the fuck? Lock in, dog. Do your outreach. You're right now, what it is you're being selfish by being too lazy to do your outreach because you're forgetting while you do want to do your outreach, you're thinking of yourself. But what you're not thinking of is your selfishness because this is our business. You're holding me back as much as you're holding yourself back just because you're lazy to do your outreach. That type of shit. That's why I'm saying get a business partner, right? For that type of accountability so you can keep each other pushing, keep each other motivated, disciplined, locked in, keep each other working. Maybe there's some stuff you may not be able to understand that he can deal with. I can't understand it that he can deal with, right? That type of things. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Okay, now I'm heading towards one of my last few points right now. And this last point is, I'm sure many of you have heard it, but it's applicable no matter what it is you're doing. Consistency is key. And I'm going to leave you with a quote I heard day before yesterday, a few days ago. It's, the best plan is the consistent plan. No matter what the hell it is in life you're pursuing, whether that's going to be the gym, whether that's going to be content creation, whether that's going to be a business idea, whether that's going to be a side hustle, whether you're going to go wash cars or clean windows, bro. The best plan is the consistent plan, no matter what it is you're pursuing in life, right? Consistency is key. You need to have consistency, hard work, grit, absolute grit, and determination, right? Because that is how you're going to make it. By the way, all of these things I'm discussing still fall under the journey of starting your first business, right? Or when you're starting your first business, right? So you need to have consistency, hard work, grit, and determination. Because if you don't, you will not make it. But let me tell you something, because it does take a long time to see results, especially when it comes to business, right? You need to be able to keep yourself motivated. So I'm going to give you something I from that video about how to stay focused when no one believes in you. So make sure you remember it. The quote is, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So when you're working towards your business, don't feel sad that you're not getting anything back right now. Feel happy. Be like, yeah, the more I work now means the more that's going to come back to me later. You understand? When I create content, right, whether it's my YouTube video, my short form, or I'm going live, right, I'm thinking to myself, fuck yeah, I'm working, I'm adding my hours, right, I'm clocking in, I'm adding to my billable hours, right? One day it's all gonna pay me back for all the time and efforts and work I put into it, right? Because for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So for me, I like to think that for all the hours I'm putting in, I'm gonna grow more, right? Because for all the videos I'm posting, I'll grow more. For all the YouTube videos I'm posting, I'll grow more and get my name out there. For all the live streams I'm doing, I'm growing more. Why? Because the more I put in, the more I get out. That's what I'm telling myself, right? Same thing's applicable when I'm saying the other quotes. For every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? And the last thing that I need you to have, and it touches on your tunnel vision, is you need to have absolute blind faith that this is going to work out. Excuse me. If you don't have genuine belief and blind faith, I don't think you'll ever make it. So if you can't truly believe you'll make it, you will make it, bro. There's a quote I like: whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Which means if you can understand something and you can believe it, you can achieve it 100%. So there's one more quote I want to leave you with. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I'm sure you might have heard it before, but I want you to remember it. That was a good video, guys. If you guys know anyone who's thinking of starting content, thinking of starting a new business idea, thinking of starting a new side hustle, thinking of going into something, anyone that you think will relate to this type of content or the video that I just recorded, feel free to share this video to them very much. I'd appreciate it. Please make sure you smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to put them in the comments. I'm here to help you guys become the best possible version of yourselves. And yeah, maybe I might not answer your comments in the comments. Maybe I might create a whole new video replying to it, right? Because maybe I'll be like, I have seen this question quite a bit. Let me touch onto it. Let me go into it, you know? That's the video, guys. As always, I'm rooting for you and I'm watching from afar. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.